Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, what a lot has happened. This video is all about Harry. Where do I start? Okay, firstly, question. Is it normal for any of you guys out there for you to call People magazine and say, my husband just phoned me and the kids up? People magazine. Let's cast our minds back. Who could have called People magazine and told them that Harry called Meg and because they're so in love and gave her and the kids a tour of a hotel room? Like they'd really want to see the inside of a hotel room, or would they? So who called People magazine, Judge Warby? Oh, sorry, slip of the tongue. I must have misremembered that. Could it be 5 friends called People magazine? Could it be? Or, I mean, who else would have known? Perhaps it was Lilibet. Perhaps it was Archie. His first words were crocodile, so I'm sure by now he can use the phone and call up People magazine and tell them all about a private conversation where he and his sister and his mummy and daddy were all having a FaceTime. Does anybody find that normal? No, I don't. I find that this is how I interpret it. Harry's nowhere near her, isn't talking to her, and she just had to let the world know, yes, he's talking to me, he called me just before. Well, isn't he a busy bee? Firstly, I believe he is in New York because, for several reasons. A flight from London to New York is nowhere near as dramatic as going all the way to the other side of the country to California. As a lot of you Americans know, that's a lot more involved and a lot more exhausting. Whereas a flight to New York is not such a biggie, especially for royals and certainly for Harry, because, I mean, he's clocked up so many air miles, hasn't he? Also, he touched the Queen of Belgium, which I found very interesting. Normally, I don't think they'd do that. One royal to another. They wouldn't be that touchy-feely. I felt... My instinct when I saw him do that was he's trying to prove to a lot of YouTubers who saw the sunglasses reflection and the lack of people who were standing about 24 inches in front of his face, but there was only the green tennis court in the sunglasses. There was no reflection of those people. So he's trying to prove that he's physically there in New York. And I believe he is physically there in New York. The thing is, then it goes on about 8 days. Now, yesterday, I don't know what he's doing today. Something African parks. Anybody remember that scandal? But yesterday he did a couple of events. And I'm thinking, well, if he's there for 8 days and he's doing engagements at that rate of knots, well, that's going to be at least 16 engagements. That's what a busy bee he is. Or is he just going to do a few engagements and then he's staying in New York for the rest of the week? Or is one engagement at the other end of the week? So he's thought, well, hey, might as well have a party. I read a really interesting radar online. Now, okay, I suppose radar can be dodgy. I don't know. But it said that he was nowhere near her on his birthday. I'll try and find a link, but I was reading it last night and it was fascinating because it said Meghan's turning reclusive. I find that very hard to believe, but they said that employees or people close to her have said she's getting weirder by the day. I mean, this is just in an article. This could be bollocks. Meghan could be thriving, not just being alive. She's thriving. But then again, I'll just repeat what this radar was claiming, that Harry has basically dumped her, that she feels she's been cut loose, that nobody wants her, like publicly, that she's terrified of WME announcing that they've dumped her, and she feels abandoned. Well, I mean, I think everybody could see that one coming. I think it's actually making it onto some of the American magazines now, isn't it? Harry has escaped. It is definitely looking that way. Even some of the British commentators are saying, you know, Harry is going to be on his own from now on. He didn't look that happy to me, actually, at one of those things. Well, at either of them. really. He didn't look happy at all. He looked quite depressed. Perhaps he hasn't got anything to pep him up at the moment. I don't know, just a guess. The visa thing, I kind of thought that they were going to lock that down and they were never going to make that public, and it's never really been my focus. In my experience, people in the higher echelons of life get treated differently to the rest of us. Not just the Windsors, all kinds of diplomats, and, you know, one rule for them and another for us. So it doesn't surprise me one jot that that's all been locked down for his privacy. Doesn't surprise me at all. And what were the other things? I mean, there's been so much happening because I've been busy with the boat, so I thought I'd look him up. He's got a thing, well child, hasn't he? He's going to the UK, and then I guess he'll just be back there in the UK for a bit. That'll be my guess, and it's only a guess. Because there just aren't pictures of him being all lovey-dovey with Meghan at the moment. I would imagine, I mean, the sooner it's over, the better. Or the sooner, I would prefer to hear announcements of a separation, a divorce, to just start. I felt exactly the same way with Sir Paul McCartney and Heather Mills, you know, for everybody's sake. Get it over and done with, done and dusted, and my goodness, that went on a long time. And if people think that was a vicious divorce, I doubt we've seen anything yet. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, oh no, you haven't seen anything yet. I mean, this one, you can imagine with a character like Meghan. So she's feeling abandoned. She'll never understand, she'll never get the point, because I believe she's the type of character that will keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep pushing. She'll never give up. She'll never stop. Even if she had no money at all, divorced from Harry, just perhaps in the gutter somewhere, she will not stop. She will keep going. She's just one of those type characters. Like, what was the character called in Vanity Fair? Was it Becky? She's, although Becky looks, or if that was her name, looks like a little field mouse in comparison to Meghan Markle. My goodness. But I think for him, it's going to be a big thing to admit to the world, basically, I was wrong. Everybody else was right. It was a mistake. Especially my elder brother. He was right again. You know, guess what? Harry messed up again. Thank you all very much for the comments about the rowing video. I'm glad you all enjoyed going out in the water. I'll have to try and get the little outboard running, and then maybe we can venture a bit further out to sea. If you're brave enough for it, if you're up for it. And what else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, there was something I forgot. I found a Radar Online article, and I couldn't think what it was that made me laugh so much. Apparently, not only is Meghan feeling abandoned, she's more close to Princess Diana than ever. She's talking to Princess Diana all the time, and they have so much in common because Meghan's being abandoned by her husband, just how Diana was abandoned. Right, I found the link. I've put it in the description. Oh my goodness. It gets more and more bizarre, doesn't it? All the time. The wonderful Shauna of Vintage Read. I watched her video. I'll put a link in the description to that because I love this video. It's called Rinse and Repeat or something like that. And basically, Shauna is using her intellect and her instinct, and she's really come to the same conclusion, that Harry seems to be having his reputation not only separated from Meghan, but cleansed to make him more respectable. And Shauna's right, it's already working with some people. They're already saying, oh, there's the cutesy old Harry. Oh, well, I think there'll be a lot of people with long memories, very long memories, you know. It's not going to be that easy. Certainly not for someone like me. I'm going to remember the Charles that have connections to Harry. I'm going to remember words that he himself has said. I'm not going to forget that kind of thing. I'm not going to forget the way I've seen friends and family treated just for critiquing and talking about the royal family. Talk about arrogance. It's one thing I've always felt about him is he is quite an arrogant person. Because I remember the first thing that he took Meghan to, I think, was the Endeavour Awards. And It was before they got married. They turned up at some place. There was a guy in a lot of paraphernalia and regalia. And as they walked in, this guy who had, I don't know if he was the Lord Mayor or what he was, but he was someone very important and obviously someone very proud. He put his hand out to shake Meghan's, and Harry smacked his hand down, like, don't touch her. And I remember thinking, oh, Harry, oh, your mother wouldn't like that. She'd smack your face if she saw you being so rude. Because when people have members of the royal family come to visit, they're really proud. They spend a lot of time preparing, cleaning, putting thought into it, security. And basically, the royal turns up, assuming all that's been done. Like Harry's turned up, don't touch her. And I just thought, that is so arrogant. So I think he's got a lot of humble pie to go, quite frankly. If he's got any chance of just living a quiet life in the Cotswolds. This idea of him going back to royal working life, oh no, 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 no. All respect would be lost, definitely, by me if he did that. He's got to earn it, really, in my book. I'd like to see him go off and do something actually worthwhile. I don't know, go and do a documentary about actually digging holes himself, building houses himself, working with people, speaking openly with people about their struggles, their problems, focusing on something positive. He'd have to do a damn few years of that before you'd get anyone like me on board. He can't just stroll straight in, take the scissors and cut the ribbon. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, it's such a complicated subject. But that's probably enough for today. Well, I think so. I'm sure there's something I've forgotten. I'm off to the yacht chandler's, the ever elusive yacht chandler. We seek him here, we seek him there. So I'm going to walk all the way around in the hope that his shop is open. And it's midday now, so I've got to catch him. It's going to come to it where I will have to park outside the yacht chandler's and sleep in the car until I see the guy open the shop, so I can buy that last piece of mat to finish my windows. So anyway, yeah, lots of food for thought. So I believe he's in New York at the moment, and I do not believe that he FaceTimed Meghan and the children, and I don't really see why it's necessary for People magazine to give everybody a blow-by-blow. I mean, for goodness sake, who does that? Have you ever seen any celebrity do that? People magazine will regurgitate a very, very private moment in a family home. I mean, why? It just makes it so obvious. Oh, I hope Judge Borby's watching this. I really do. He must feel like such a fool now, mustn't he? What an idiot. And I'll tell you why I think the court went against the Daily Mail. I will tell you why. There was very bad blood between the British courts and the Daily Mail, because during the days of the referendum, Brexit, the Daily Mail did a headline where they put pictures of top judges and they called them saboteurs. So I kind of knew when that People magazine thing went to court, I thought that there's going to be a lack of impartiality there. That's my personal opinion. It was a little bit of, you know, having a dig back at the Daily Mail over an old grudge. That's what I think. Anyway, as always, that's enough from me. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Goodness knows where I'll be in the next video. But I look forward to seeing you whenever, wherever. Thank you very much for listening.